Hello, welcome to Encased. Now, this was supposed to be one of the better RPG games to come out in 2019. I have no idea. The game was delayed a couple of times and now it's out of early access, but to be honest, it has been changed so many times I don't think I will like the final product. For example, in the beginning it was supposed to be kind of like a classic RPG. You started out in the Magellan base or whatever it's called, you explored, you talked to people, you did quests for them and so on. But then the developers probably saw that it was super boring to do it like this, so they started you off near the city, or not exactly in the city, but at the gates. But then I don't know, they changed it a lot of times. So I think the developers lost their vision for the game, and at some point they started to think, well, what if we just make an RPG? I'll play on classic difficulty.
1971. We woke up in a different world, where the Cold War ended along with the Vietnam carnage. All because of the Dome. The Dome. A territory full of anomalous artifacts, phenomena, and organisms. We still don't know what it is. An alien city? Some kind of a testing ground or storage? Whatever it is, no living thing trapped under the Dome can escape it. Yet even this did not stop the research. The major powers created the Cronus Mega Corporation to develop and explore the Dome. Its secrets became a lucrative business. The Spire station was built on top of the Dome to export the artifacts and import supplies and personnel. The city of Crystal Sands grew at the foot of the Dome, eventually becoming a major transportation hub. All this required thousands of employees, and there was no shortage of candidates. Romantics, pragmatists, and adventurers of all trades swarmed recruiting centers around the globe, seeking jobs at Cronus. You were one of those people. In 1976, your application was approved, and you went under the Dome towards the future. Whether a good one or a bad one, only time will tell.
So they got a lot of aspects of the game, right? Like the story and the setting and the background. But to be honest, they never really got the combat to work again after they modified a lot of stuff. And you also have a lot of builds that are not exactly builds. You can choose, well, you can choose a lot of things, but to be honest, none of them really change the way you play the game. Okay, now let's select our wing. The wing is basically your background, which can be... Hey, wait a minute. Shut up. Okay, here is your wing. Come on, I don't want to hear about the wings. So, yeah, orange wing is kind of like for inmates. White wing is for scientists. As you can see, this will change to kind of showcase... Female, other, male. One of the things I hate about this, I don't know, maybe they should just leave it alone as it is, because you have to match your portrait to your cat. This is kind of like in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. They give you a lot of options to waste your time, but they don't really mean anything in the long term. And now I'm just struggling to find the right portrait for my character. Okay, that's good enough. So the orange, as you can see, it will give you survival, criminal, encumbrance, muscle, guts, and so on, deftness. Action point. I guess that's the one I will want to choose. White wing, scientists. High-tech weapons, medicine, science, biochemical resistance, brains, guts. They use their own, how should I call it, stat system. Brains, guts, blue wing. I guess they are the leaders or some kind of stuff like that. Yeah, you also have a lot of abilities. I don't know, it seems like a lot of the stuff you won't even use, and from what I remember, stealth was pretty broken. They don't explain as much about the wings as they did before. Psionics, silver wings, charisma, skill points per level +2. Brains plus 10+. I don't know, to be honest, I just like to go with the white wing. Yeah, as for attributes, wait, what? Oh. I don't think I want those skills, fortune. So let me see what okay, this is what I meant. See how complex this is. It's not complex, it's just complicated. So let me see. Where are the action points? Yeah, they changed this a couple of times as well. Deafness. I guess that's dexterity. They have so many stats, just look at how many stats they have, and all of them basically do the same thing, more or less. So you definitely want some muscle. Perception is probably the one I want the most. Let's see, action points. Really doesn't modify action points that much? Charisma, well, I don't think I'll be very charismatic. Brains will be 10. So what actually gives you more action points? This will only affect the maximum. Fortune will give us more action points. Okay, let's get more action points. Psyche, deafness, yeah, we'll just go for muscle and the rest. Again, I just think they overcomplicate things, making you believe it's something wow. High-tech weapons will be the one that I'll choose. And then of course we'll have tech and science. I even forgot what those means, but again, I'll just try to roleplay the game a little bit. Gun fanatic. Vampire, Slowpoke, Don Quixote. Dark Lord. Vampire. So why does the redneck give you 4 guts and gives you more perks, really? Allier, critical hit chance, spirituality, penitent 1. I guess this gives you a few points into everything, and when I say everything, I really mean everything. Neanderthal. Not wear pants and jackets. Prodigy, brains plus 4. Can I have 14? I don't know. As you can see, it's a very, very primitive system compared to what Fallout had to offer us and some other games. Slowpoke, action points maximum, starting action points. I guess I'll just go for the penitent one. Or do we take a redneck scientist? Well, I guess that will be fun. Especially because I cannot see what is the problem. Oh, you get perks more rare. Okay, then we'll not take that one. Tragedy, learnability. Penitent one it is. Summary. Fatigue restores okay. Throw range. Repair gunsmithing. We have gunsmithing. Let's just start the game. So that was basically 10 minutes wasted because I don't think they ever, I mean, they modified huge portion of the games, but they never really updated tutorials. So as you can see, these are people from other wings, and there is a lot of dialogue, and looks like they kept the start where you actually start in the elevator. I forgot what I'm supposed to do here. 41, 49. Get a scanner or money. You're part of Kronos. Congratulations, inactive Selectron. Data reputation. You also have reputations with the factions and also the other wings. Now this is the start of our career, and the White Wings will have more than usual.
A pale young woman is sitting at the window, leaning against the illuminator. The glass is slightly fogged with her breath.
We've crossed the border. No way back now. Even traveling by the funicular wasn't so thrilling. You were thinking, why have no children been born under the dome? I've got a working hypothesis, but I'm not ready to share it yet.
She says softly, as if answering a question you didn't ask.
But the developer said they basically got more money, and what did they do with all the money? Well, with all the money they implemented voice acting for everyone or everything. Which is one of the worst way to spend your money. I mean, come on, just implement new mechanics, new combat, bigger monsters, bigger guns, more balance, just more content, and prepare the game for new content as well. No, voice acting. Is that so important in a game like this where you will read millions of lines? Is not important in my opinion. Just voice line the beginning of the game, maybe.
Kimura peers through the glass in the direction you indicate.
Oh, that's the aircraft that crashed into the dome during the first expedition. I believe that's a wing fragment, and there's some white canvas. What do you think that is? Maybe a parachute?
The White shakes her head, bewildered.
I just can't believe it. It's all true. We're on our way to meet the future.
Kimura shoots you a surprised look.
You're familiar with the details of the briefing, right? To put it simply, the dome is a selectively permeable environment.
Okay, so she basically means that only a few things can come inside.
The White draws an invisible hemisphere in the air.
Inorganic objects may exit the dome without difficulty, but any living creature dies if transported back to the outside world. That's why we're all stuck here for an indefinite period of time.
Kimura listens without interrupting.
It's quite possible. I would like to set up an experiment to test this in practice.
She cuts off abruptly.
They narrated even what the narrator is. Well, I guess it's, if he's a narrator, he's narrating, right?
You exchange glances with the rapidly blushing Kimura.
Not in that sense. I mean, yes, in that sense, but it is science, you know? It's quite serious.
She blushes even more.
No thanks. It's astonishing.
And you have to talk to all of the other wing members to know them and kind of get into the
guy
story.
Wearing thick spectacles thrusts out a sweaty hand.
Monty James, Silverwing.
He glances down at your badge.
Ah, it's you. I found your file extremely interesting, and your CV wonderful. Inspiring, really. When I had the opportunity to look over the files of my future colleagues, I couldn't resist. I don't want to sound boastful, but silver level clearance has its advantage. Oh, I see.
Oh, sorry, I
If
pressed
you
too
ever decide to
too
sew
fast.
together a Frankenstein's monster from the bodies of dead oranges, be sure to let me know.
The silver, an uncomfortable sign. He taps the narrow illuminator panel with one finger.
Look, there's a storm rising. The lightning is strange. Green. Should lightning be green? This is my first sandstorm.
Monty nods. A man with the blue taps on the glass with one. A tall woman is watching an ad. She glances.
Greetings. Please take all necessary precautions. By that I just follow orders. Even if his crime was embezzlement, I have to keep him cuffed. Those are the rules. Our friends from the administration didn't deign to inform me about this man's record. Could be I'm escorting a serial killer. It's corporate policy, you know.
She gives the silver a vengeful look.
Yeah, so it's kind of like their faction system. I don't really like it because of course it involves a lot of separation. I don't know. It's kind of like a lot of classes. For example, the whites are the scientists or the nerds, the blacks are the guards, the silver are the leaders, the oranges are the inmates, and the blues, I forgot what the blues are.
The orange is dressed in a new jumpsuit. He's side-eyeing this. The orange's face stretches into a broad smile, bearing his dentures to the world.
Like everyone, duh. In a black car, under guard. There's other guys too, the ones who go through the front door.
He nods at the black-winged woman beside him. Her nose wrinkles in displeasure, but she says nothing. Quentin raises his hands to it.
They call them humane handcuffs. How about that? Truth is, there ain't nothing humane about them. They zap you real hard the moment you get your hands on a gun. But they sure look nice.
Stopping by the door's porthole, you watch as the ground slowly approaches.
That's actually one of my favorite parts of the story, but to be honest, I don't know if they added more story for the dome or what you find.
Through the tinted glass and smoky blue at the horizon. It almost seems like the clouds are pulling apart there. You scan the desert for any sign of the anomalies you've heard so much about. A flat, dark form hangs in the air above the horizon. It vaguely resembles a mushroom cloud, but with a much denser structure. In the distance, you can also see a strange, apparently man-made wall rising from this. Just as you're about to move away from the window, you notice a whirlwind beginning to form above the ochre plain. The gathering storm drifts unhurriedly above the desert, a crown of green lightning flashing at its core. The outlines of the landing site, blurred by clouds of dust, appear.
Sorry about this, but if we don't do this a little faster, we'll never get even through the first part of the game. I think it's a shame. They had all that time and all that money and all that inspiration, and they just wasted on walking and dialogue. I just hope we can finish at least the Concord Station landing before I end the video. I don't think I'll do another one. Just purely because this is not...
Come here. Come on now, or you'll miss everything.
A cheerful badge reading Ludovico.
Look over there.
He points up. You raise the binocular. Under fourfold magnification, the whirling cloud above the rust-colored plains looks even stranger. Its core glows. Nazi bends close to your ear.
Fascinating. Do you want me to bring some filters? If we get
The scientist looks blankly.
This? This?
He lets out. Ludovico points at the building behind him.
I work in Concord Station, categorizing relics. My job is to classify them by rarity. Then the blues package them, silvers issue the documentation, and oranges move them to the cargo capsule. Just like the one you arrived in.
Nazi points upward.
Then the capsule takes the relics way up there, all the way to the spire, then to Crystal Sands by the funicular. They get auctioned off and turned into money. It's not like I endorse this, but...
He offers you his binoculars once again. Nazi looks from you to... He flings his arms up.
Oh, mi scusi. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Yeah, the storm is growing. Hello again. Come back again.
So it's mine.
Okay, those guys are not in a hurry, so let's go to Concord. I think we have about 3 hours of content in the city, if I'm not mistaken. That could be a problem, because like I said, a lot of people will like the concept of the game, but what is the gameplay? That was always my question. What happens to the gameplay? Oh no, I guess you can skip most of it, but...
Great, Mr. Monty James. With luck like yours, I wouldn't spend any money on the lottery.
They are so rich in here, they even throw money to the garbage. Now let's see, I can buy stuff or I thought we could hack it. Yeah, we can probably hack it. Trade, search.
What are you doing? Stop.
I guess I need lockpicking. Or to be very, very strong. Oh, okay, we cannot hack it. I think they changed some things. To be honest, I think they invested too much time in just creating random stuff over here. They could have... I don't know, we'll just have to see. We are relieved. +1 charisma for 10 minutes. Yeah, that's a thing. Now, also prepare to speak with this guy for about 1 million hours.
A tall receptionist watches you from behind. The employee glances at you indifferently.
All new employees must register first thing. Come up to the desk, please.
The administrator slaps himself on the forehead.
Ah, I almost forgot the regulation pre-registration greeting.
Rayhet produces a reel-to-reel tape recorder from beneath the desk, rewinds the tape to the beginning, and presses play. The speakers explode with a harsh, crackling sound, over which the tick-tick of a metronome slowly grows louder. Solemn music begins to play, and the administrator's face takes on a serious expression.
Dear employee, on behalf of the Cronus Foundation, I, Administrator Dean Rayhet, welcome you to your new life under the dome.
The administrator clears his throat and continues.
By joining our company, you choose the path of science and progress. You are among mankind's best, and we ask that you live up to this.
Dean squints down at the monitor.
Deserve this title. Do your job honestly. Obey the law. Respect your colleagues and...
The music fades, and the administrator finishes his speech.
And together we will build the best possible future for all mankind.
Dean puts the tape recorder away.
Now that we're done with the official greeting, I'll register you and...
The committee ads didn't lie. The interior of Concord Station looks just like the glossy brochure. The high ceiling is finished with matte light panels. The floor is slightly scratched. Dean stabs impatiently at the terminal keyboard.
Name and...
Dean's hands hover over the keyboard. He gives you a nod. You spell out your first and last names and specify your wing, profession. Rayhet scans the computer screen.
So your position in the waiting list was 63,784. You've been assigned to Magellan Station.
Dean snaps the docking port of your pack. The administrator returns your Selectron.
Cronus was founded as a society of scientists and military professionals. White Wingers have special privileges at most of the original locations built in 71 and 72. And there are some purely white zones in Magellan too. Limited access laboratories, operating rooms, the morgue, warehouses, some parts of the reactor. I think you'll...
Dean continues.
All new employees have...
Rayhet nods and points at the ceiling.
First you need a set of combat...
Sydney Maynard.
Dean extends his second finger.
Second, weapons. Ms. Marguerite...
The administrator straightens. Dean extends his fourth finger and looks at you.
And finally, science.
Dean catches himself.
Oh, and when you're done with your trainings, proceed to the waiting room.
The administrator, he reaches for the tape recorder, but thinks better of it.
Protocol calls for a little welcoming preamble, but dash it all, that's nonsense. Welcome to Concord Station.
As he's about to turn away, Dean suddenly remembers something.
Oh yes, I sent your mail to your Kairos. Check your new messages. Well...
Okay, that's 24 minutes, almost 25 minutes, and I skipped some of it. And we have to explore all of this. Oh, that's her name. What a weird name we have. Ah, I guess we'll just leave it like that. I might have forgotten to change it. And they didn't change much. White Wing. No, I think we should just go and get our armor or weapon and do a little bit of combat and then I'll end
Behind
the
the
video.
storage counter, the silver perks up at your approach. A thick logbook appears at once from under the counter. Sydney puts on thick glasses that seem to age him 5 decades in an instant. The silver finally stops and pins down a particular page with his finger.
Now, this is your first uniform requisition, right? You can also...
Maynard adjusts his glasses in a businesslike manner.
Before I get...
Sydney fiddles with his hairstyle.
So,
Shut.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Life under the dome can be dangerous. You may get shot, spill acid on yourself, get electrocuted, or suffer the effects of a dangerous anomaly. That's why it's important to wear protective equipment when traveling outdoors.
He points back at the shelves behind him.
We've got repair kits for this gear. There are Blue Wing specialists ready to help you at any...
Sydney rests the log. The silver disappears. Unfolding the package, Maynard shows you a brand spanking... Sydney proudly shakes out a bright white jacket. It more resembles a thick mantle than a lab coat.
Look, this is the most advanced clothing under the dome. It protects from acid, aggressive fauna, and radiation. Not very effectively, though.
He raises a finger.
One more important thing. In accordance with Order 16-225, helmets and gloves are not issued, but they're available for purchase from me. Please bear in mind that a full set includes headgear or a mask, jacket, trousers, gloves, and boots.
Sydney hands you the package.
Here's your uniform.
Sydney adjusts his... Sydney scribbles something in his logbook.
Please
So
come
let
back
me see,
anytime
for
if
the
you need
helmet we
something.
need $50. Well, I guess we'll buy that later, don't worry. For now, like I said, let's just start. So let me see, this as you can see offers you a lot of resistances. And don't worry, I mean, I'm not sure if I'll play more, but if you want to see more of the game, just let me know and I'll play more of it. It's also very weirdly designed, Adolf Shimariva. Because it doesn't really tell you where to go next and, well...
Anything urgent, Mr. Kretschkov?
Katarzyna, did you mark it as class 1 again instead of 2? Look, here's the scanner data. This is...
Well, we have a lot of stuff to search anyway.
The smell of good tobacco wafts off this tall, portly woman from a meter away. A black lacquered pipe, an open logbook full of signatures, and a metal flip calendar sit on the counter in front of her. A small nameplate reads, Margarita Tkachenko. The woman fixes her coppery hair with one hand and casually lights her pipe.
To what do I owe the...
Margarita thumbs back a couple of pages in her logbook.
I see. This was your first receipt.
She glances at her Kairos, looks at you. Tkachenko returns a couple of minutes later, carrying some... The weapon seems weightless as she spins it around her finger.
I ain't telling you shit about this thing, because that's exactly how much I know. Laser, schmazer, cadmium battery, fiberglass body, blah, 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 blah. You probably know more about it than I do. Here.
Margarita continues to suck on her pipe indifferently.
Wish they'd put you into the real army for 3 years or so.
Tkachenko bites down on the stem of her pipe.
Are you kidding me?
The black regards the Andromeda suspiciously.
Fuck it. Put it back and I'll trade it in for another one.
Oops, I knocked off my keyboard.
It came in for cleaning the lens.
The armorer shrugs, puffing indifferently on her pipe.
It's the least I could do. We have a requisition list from the Silvers. For free, you receive only...
Leaning over the counter, the black points somewhere off to one side.
Now
Sorry
it's
about
time
that.
for your training. Fatherby is already waiting for you by the big gate. He's a bit... But before the training zone, go see that wizard guy with his...
Sorry about that, like I said, I tend to get bored during these long expositions that are straight in the beginning of the game. Energy damage, range, critical mode, jamming chance. Jamming chance is a really big problem in this game because your weapons will jam a lot, but we also have the high temperature shot, the stun mode, and ionization and energy shot. Which they will be a lot of fun. We also have a lot of ammo types. I like the customization, but again, where is all the combat? What did they add in terms of combat? That's What I want to see in terms of combat, exploration, character customization, companions, quests, missions, big events. What did they add in terms of that? They surely didn't fix the icons, because the icon... Well, see, she has an icon of a pistol over her head, but when you press the M, it doesn't show that pistol icon anymore. Which is weird. Weird at best.
See you next time.
Why you blocked
Complained
me?
to the Silvers about that.
As you reach to open
You're a newcomer, right?
the technician slaps the door with one hand. Penkov, Maxine,
Though there's another way.
Penkovsky, the blues. Penkovsky,
Using them.
he gives you
By the way, actually,
the blue. He looks at the door again. Penkov,
Imagine that, having to read 5 minutes about lockpicks.
Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
I repeat, get a lockpick and attach it to your utility belt. And then, apply it to the door.
Oh, it's already attached. Well, that's a weird tutorial.
Yes, apply is the proper word. Just don't forget to pick up your uniform and
Welcome
weapons.
under the dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology.
Fatigue plus 75? Why? Fatigue is a new system.
Useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. A better place.
you see it. The man turns. He glances. Finished with his. The scientist. He shows you. His Sebastian produces his hand. The instruct. He places a. Van Olden pushed Sebastian.
The Minerva
The white.
for scanning and all. You can exchange.
Sebastian. Van Olden. He turns.
You'll need some.
He the scientist. He rests one. He smooth.
Welcome under the dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of ancient.
Please stand by for decontamination to end.
This information useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
Red Force, Medkit, and Arad 3.
Van Olden gestures.
Oh yeah, we have to go down this thing over here. Man, that dialogue, wait a minute, what's wrong with the graphics? Okay, borderless eye. Why is there a texture grain? Classic difficulty, voiceover, show subtitles, yes, tutorials. I guess them could be a little bigger.
One of them and you'll be injured. Toss a bolt of the anomaly. Recharge.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. Your life will be forfeit.
What am I supposed to do?
Don't touch the relics with your hands, employee. Use your scanner. Radiation sickness will not add to your knowledge. Don't touch the relics with your hands, employee. Use your scanner. Radiation sickness will not add to journal entry. A successful scanning. You're doing all right so far. Go ahead. I'll keep an eye on you and make sure you.
Okay, so what is my current quest? Oh man, they really made it more complicated. One of the things I wanted to Well, one of the things I didn't like in the early access period was the UI. They didn't change anything about the UI and the messy inventories and the reputation and the character. All of this is basically the same. They should have modernized this a little bit, you know, changed it a little bit. Oh, this will take a while. So, technology of the forefather is the thing that we're actually trying to see. That's what they are called, forefathers. I remember this being very hard to do in early access as well. I guess you can just climb up. Oh, that's instant? I don't remember that. Yeah, the game has such a weird film grain effect to it.
Van Olden gestures back at the ecozone.
You haven't
Oh yeah, I need to scan these two items as well. Well, good luck if you like reading. That's a lot of reading for everything.
Journal entry. 2 objects scanned. And again, watch out for anomalies. Touch one and you'll be injured. Toss a bolt to the anomaly. Journal entry. All 3 objects have been successfully scanned. Come upstairs, employee.
Give me combat training, please.
Sebastian meets you on. He clicks the stopwatch button. The scientist turns back to his notes.
Not bad.
The scientist assumes a superior expression.
I knew you'd come up with something.
He glances at the shimmering blue light in the ecozone. Sebastian points a thin finger at the clustered lightning.
I personally believe that the anomalies are the dome's security mechanism. The ones you saw are relatively harmless, but there are different anomalies in the desert, phenomenon that toy with the human mind.
Van Olden clasps his hands behind his back.
I know you don't care, but I'll say it anyway. Scientists today are required to be wonder workers who can heal cancer with a wave of their hand and solve the secrets of the universe during their coffee break. For some reason,
The White's gaze strays back.
Please stand by for decontamination to end. Like a sci-fi story. But
Welcome
we
under
aren't
the dome,
strangers
an
to
amazing
sci-fi
excursion
here.
to a
The
world of new
detailed
technology
plans
and
are
the riddles
ready.
of an ancient
And
civilization.
according to
Listen
them.
to this information.
Now, where is that combat training? Now, where are we actually? Very messy UI as always, so that was probably... Okay, if you press escape to bring out the menu, you have to press M again. I think he's one of the other people I have to speak with.
Attention. Please handle relics carefully.
A lean silver with thick black hair and a huge cigar. As you approach, he flashes. Something really weird happens. All the paper clips, pencils, scattered toothpicks, and bits of trash float up from the table and hang in the air.
here for the briefing, huh? Shall we get to it?
He takes the silver, props his elbows on the table.
Anyway, here's the deal. It's more profitable for people with a high psyche to study.
Not waiting for an answer, he grabs your hand with strong, dark fingers. Andre gropes your hand with an expression of fierce concentration.
So, do you practice? Bells, bulbs, brushing mugs off the table, huh?
The silver takes a thin glove covered in talc from his desk and passes it to you.
Look, a glove, right? But it isn't just a glove. This is an ooh mama, hold me tight glove. It takes energy from your noggin, your psyche, and pew, concentrate.
He counts off on his fingers.
Learn psionics. Put on the glove. Transform energy into the necessary...
It doesn't take the psychic long to think of something. A small 2-com bond coin jumps up from the table and an invisible force folds it in half. The ruined coin drops into a glass already almost full of coins in the same state. The silver takes a pull.
Psionics. It's a gift for all of us. The forefathers took off someplace. Poof, gone. Only the dome remains.
Mihai spreads his dark hands. Toothpicks hover around his head in a kind of halo.
Well, this is a
Scientists
Romanian
say
name,
everyone
more or
has one.
less.
What are you sneaking around here for?
Success. I got a special glove. This is a very big energy weapon over there. Okay, I really like to show you off the combat training if I can find it. Winston Butterbean. Winston Butterbean.
But we aren't strangers to sci-fi here.
Yeah, the dialogue is pretty well written and the voice actors are great, but
A middle-aged black is
Game,
sitting
please.
behind the counter.
Give me the game.
Botherby frowns as you approach.
Your first act is being late for the brief.
The black looks you over.
Yes, I see the weapon received check mark.
Botherby leans over the counter. He raises his index finger, pulling a notepad from his pocket. The
ouch, hey. Now let me see. This is those are my bullets. 5 more action points. Stun mode or ionization. Ionize them. The effects are pretty cool for the guns. Oh, he has a stick. And he hits me with a stick. Okay, that basic attack was a lot more useful than I thought. Did we waste our ammo? Yes, we did waste a little bit of ammo.
Well,
Looks like he has an LMG.
Botherby nods, grand.
Dome from the inside. With me, Victoria LeGrand. As you can see, there are endless salt pans in the western region.
Well, don't shoot him. Now as you can see we have a lot of other smaller quests, but I don't know. If you want to see more, just let me know. Otherwise, this will be the end of the video and probably the series. It's just too much. They made the game worse by giving you so much exposition in the first place, and then when you reach the combat, I don't know if you'll have patience for it. I'll be stuck here for another 3 hours, I think. Bye.